Please subscribe.
Okay, Chris Speaks back here today with Brandon Mosley for our BCS.State of Alabama podcast, and we have state auditor candidate here with us, Robert Mcollum. Robert previously ran for PSC in 2022 and 2024. He is the first announced candidate in this race. Robert, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great. And how are y'all today?
We're doing good, Robert.
Excellent. It's been a long time since we did these. So, Robert, my first question for you is, here recently you were left off a straw poll by the Alabama College Federation Republicans. And in your Facebook post, you compared that to the Nazis and the chair to Adolf Hitler. The Nazis banned all parties, and Adolf Hitler was the most mass murder in history that led to the death of 80 million people. How can you make such a comparison?
Well, two things. I'd like to apologize for the FU statement I made. That was heat of the moment, and I wish I wouldn't have used that statement. And by comparison to the Nazi Party, I should have been a little more specific in my comparison. Obviously was not trying to bring into discussion the deaths of obviously 80 million Jews, because I condemn that in the strongest of terms. I was referring to the Nazi censorship of dissenting voices that don't agree with them, as well as control as far as media is concerned. And originally, when they come into power in the 1930s, that's what they used. They got control of the media and censored dissenting voices.
Robert, the Nazis got control of the media, which they used to censor. All the college Republicans did was they left you off of their straw poll ballot, and they did have a spot for other where Mccollum supporters who were thinking about it, could have voted other, meaning you. Do you think that you might have been a little bit overstrong with your wording there?
Well, I don't disagree with you. I may have been a little overstrong in using the wording that I used, but the way I believe is, I believe any candidate running for office, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, it doesn't matter. You should be granted equal forum as far as having your name on a poll or having your name at an event. You should be granted equal opportunity that anyone else is. That's what democracy was found on, is every candidate being given equal forum.
Robert, do you still stand by your comparison of the chair to Adolf Hitler?
Well, I wouldn't say I would compare him to Adolf Hitler in the sense of killing 80 million Jews. No, but obviously the censorship of candidates, and it's not just me, is a problem and needs to be addressed. We need to be providing an equal forum to all candidates. And if we don't do that, I believe what's going to happen, if we keep trying to censor candidates, we may as well roll out the red carpet for a Democrat takeover in Alabama by 2034. They're already making huge gains in the 6 major cities in the state of Alabama.
I covered the 2024 presidential campaign, and I tried to give equal time to a point between, former President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, because I, as a media member, knew that one of them was going to be the winner of that election. Honestly, with you, Robert, I know there was a Green Party candidate and I know a Libertarian run. I can't tell you what their names are, and I certainly didn't give them equal time. I made a journalistic decision, as did most reporters, that, you know, there's two people that are going to be president, and these other people, God bless them. I'm glad they ran, but I just kind of knew from experience that, yeah, it was going to be Donald J. Trump or it was going to be Kamala Harris.
Right. And I don't disagree with you in that statement. Obviously, in this country, we have two major parties that have control, that are the two major parties. You have the Republicans and the Democrats. I just feel like equal time should be afforded to the candidates, whether you're Republican or Democrat. And that's my opinion on that.
Robert, in 2022, you put in a lot of time going to different events. Still in the primary, 63% of the voters chose another candidate. In the runoff, Chip Baker won 63-37. In 2024, you didn't attend any campaign events and got beat by 22 points. Right now, we see Derek Chin going out and speaking to every group out there. They left you off the straw poll because they just said you was not a serious candidate. How can we take you being serious when you're not? Just seems like you're running to have your name on the ballot.
Well, that's a fair question. And my goal is I know I've ran a good bit and it looks like I'm running to just, get elected. And that's not the reason why. I'm running because I love my state. I love the people in it. I'm probably the most sociable and friendliest person, will do anything in the world for anybody that you meet. And I want to help people. That's what I want to do.
Robert, moving on to back to the campaign, what exactly does the state auditor do?
Well, first of all, the state auditor appoints board of registrars and all 6 members to the board of registrars in all 67 counties. And that is important in the sense of making sure we have good people overseeing our elections in each county. And also, the state auditor takes inventory of all the state property after the treasurer collects the state tax dollars. The auditor takes the inventory of that, oversees every department. My goal is to do away with any wasteful spending in the state of Alabama. And
Robert, sorry, go ahead.
oh, my apologies. Go ahead.
No, if you've got enough, if you got something else to say, finish your statement.
And just stop wasting the people of Alabama's money and put it to good use.
Robert, in 2022, you lashed out at the lieutenant governor for endorsing Chip Baker. In a campaign event in Gardendale, which you showed up late to, you lashed out at those people saying they had rigged it. Now we've seen this right here. Are we going to see any more bombastic outbursts like this if you feel you're slighted in the least?
Well, I'll tell you what happened in 2024. And I don't know if I told you before, but in 2024, I went to that event. I made the phone call before I arrived there. I made at least, 4 phone calls. Hey, I'm going to be late, but I would still like to speak, though. Would that be fine? And they told me, yeah, sure, come on. Had they not, or had they told me, hey, we ain't going to let you speak, to be honest, I probably would have went back home. But I drove up there with the understanding that I was going to get to speak when I get there. I give them the time to expect me. I was running late and I may still have the text in my phone. But when I got there, I was not afforded that right. And I was told, well, we can't get all the people together for you to speak. And I was like, okay. And wasn't mad about it at all. And then the lady said, well, you should go over and vote in our straw poll. So I said, okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much. So I went over to the ballot box and asked to vote in the straw poll. And they said, well, we don't have no more ballots. Well, I happened to look down and there was a whole box of unopened ballots. It's not, I'm like any other person. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being lied to. Just give it to me straight. And I'm trying to speak up for the little person's the best way to word it.
Robert, this will be the third time you've run. I don't think you've ever gotten any real major association or elected official endorsements for the most part. Do you think that the elites in the state are snubbing you intentionally?
I have no doubt about that because they know I won't play ball and do what they want to do. I won't bow down. I'm going to try my best to be my own person and speak bluntly to the people of Alabama. But yes, I
Robert,
think
sorry,
they're
go ahead.
snubbing me.
A follow-up question. When you went to that event, is it not true they were already leaving and putting up tables?
When I got to that event, I did not see anything of that sort. If I did see anything of that sort, I would be happy to tell you. But they was not leaving and putting up tables. And back to what you were saying, I left out a little detail. And after I voted in the straw poll, or after I didn't vote in the straw poll, my bad, I sat there for a few minutes, just, I guess you could say, trying to gather my thoughts. And a guy went right up on stage and got everybody's attention. And I was like, that wouldn't have took long to let me speak. But go ahead.
Yes, Robert. The the auditor, it does the where people don't know, it does the property inventory,
Yes.
the board of registrars, and it sits on the the auditor sits on the Alabama, adjustments board, that hears claims against the state. Do you think that Derek Chin is one of your opponents, and he's an attorney, and Josh Pendergrass was a former aide to Governor Ivey? Do you think that you're as qualified as they are to sit on that board and hear those claims from people who think they were wrong by the state of Alabama and judge their cases?
Yes, with all due respect, the first problem we have in politics, which is why this nation's in so much debt, why we're in so much debt, and why so much money is being wasted, is we have too many lawyers in politics as it is now. And I think I'm very qualified with my time in my own business that I own. I think that makes me very qualified. And the fact that I'm not going to bow down and do what I'm told to do, that I'm going to look out for the people of this state to the best of my ability. Yes, I think that makes me very qualified.
Robert, tell me what you do in your business that makes you qualified to sit on that board.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I'll just give you a few examples and go into a few details. Like there has been some jobs where I try to help people that if they need something done, there's been times where I'll just take a loss just to help that person out, or do anything I can to help somebody out and be able to oversee budgets, oversee my budget, obviously business wise, which I'm a small business, as you know, and be able to work and operate. And yeah, if I see somebody was wrong and I see the state of Alabama was in a wrong to that person, I'm going to do everything I can to make it right.
In 2024, Alabama, well, 2022, I'm sorry, Alabama elected Katie Britt, who was seen, rightly or wrongly, as sort of an establishment candidate. She had worked for Richard Shelby. She was president and CEO of the Business Council of Alabama. And they also elected Kay Ivey, who's been a fixture inside the government of the state really since the 70s. I mean, she's worked for Speaker McCorkadale. She worked for the Alabama Development Office. We sort of have had a recent track history of, whether this is a proper term or not, establishment type candidates. Do you think the state is ready for more of a disruptor, a Donald Trump type, who says what he thinks as a little bit, maybe a little bit loud, maybe a little bit obnoxious, but is sort of an outsider?
Oh, yes, I think to move the state forward, that's what we need. We need to start investing in ourselves. And I'll go off track a little bit just from some different businesses and people that I've talked to personally. Like, the CBD stores, a lot of them had to close and go out of business. I've talked to a lot of them store owners that tell me they're having to declare bankruptcy because, we don't want to move this state forward. And people say, well, marijuana is bad. Well, in my opinion, alcohol is 10 times worse. And the fact that we don't have gambling and a statewide lottery, we're not moving this state forward. Every state around us has casino gaming or a lottery, and they are bringing in billions of dollars, expect billions of dollars from Alabama, from people just going, getting lottery tickets or casino or wherever. We should be taking that money and investing in ourselves. And with that, I believe we can cut a lot of taxes that need to be cut in this state. Yes, we need a disruptor to move Alabama forward.
Robert, with your remarks about the College Federation, you just alienated an entire voting bloc in this state. How are you going to convince them now to vote for you after referring to all college Republicans as Nazis?
Well, that'll be a choice they'll have to make at the ballot box. If they want to vote for the establishment candidate, obviously they're going to vote for Derek Chin. If they want to vote for a disruptor that's going to look after their interests and be a person of the people, then they'll vote for me. It's going to be up to them at the ballot box, and they'll make that choice.
Robert, in your previous two races, you were heavily outspent by the incumbents that you were challenging. Derek Chin, is believed to be considering putting in substantial resources of his own into his campaign. Do you have a plan for, maybe not outraising your two opponents, but at least raising enough that you can, have parity, so maybe to get like on the radio or maybe a couple of TV spots?
We're looking at all options right now. As you've seen in my previous campaign, I was outspent by hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 2024, ran on a $3,500 budget statewide and got 40% of the vote against an establishment candidate, popular Republican, Twinkle Kavanaugh. I think that says volumes in and of itself right there. And like I said, we're looking at all options. We're looking at fundraising. We're looking at possibly self-funding. So we're looking at all options.
Robert, to touch on that question, maybe I didn't ask it right. I know you said that would be their choice, but how are you going to sell yourself to them now after you've made that statement about them being Nazis to convince them to vote for you?
Well, to be honest, I don't really have a good answer for that. I'm just going to tell them my goals and what I want to do for the people of Alabama. And it will be up to them for what they want to do. Just to be honest,
Robert, in your campaign, are you targeting more the blue collar rank and file of the GOP that, elects the Donald Trumps and actually decides, and maybe if some of the more well-to-do groups like the college Republicans don't like you, you're kind of willing to do that, just sort of to make waves?
Well, I'm a blue collar person myself. I grew up in the woods, had a country life, liked to ride dirt roads, enjoyed hunting and fishing. So obviously, yes, I'm going to be just talking to the blue collar people for their vote. But we're targeting all Alabamians that want change and want to see that their money is well spent in the state of Alabama.
Robert, you've ran this your third campaign now, and you just recently or a few minutes ago, you referred to Derek Chin as the establishment candidate. Derek's never ran for office before until recently. Nobody's ever heard of him. What makes you think that he is the establishment's candidate, or has the establishment just chosen him because they don't want to see you?
It seems like the establishment's just chosen him. And in my opinion, I believe Pendergrass jumped in there as their backup option. And Chin also sits on the Republican executive committee. I'm not 100% sure how many years he's been or how long he's been on that committee. That's just the way the lay of the land is looking.
Derek, Robert, that's pretty much all I have for you. Unless there's something you'd like to add.
Oh, well, I want to thank y'all for having me on. And I want to thank y'all both for being extremely kind and fair to me during this interview.
Robert, thank you very much for your time. I'll upload this sometime this afternoon and get it out there for you. Then you can share it with your people, and good luck in your race.
I thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Robert.